What's up everybody, it's Kelsee Briana J here with a review, swatches, and a tutorial using the new Natasha Denona Tropic Palette. So this palette just launched everywhere, Sephora, Beautylish, as well as NatashaDenona.com. Yesterday, March the 8th, was in my local Sephora. I think that they're starting to incorporate more Natasha Denona launches in all Sephora stores, so it's easier for everybody to have access to it. So I went in store and I grabbed it. I'm so excited to do this video for you guys because if you have been around on my channel, you know that I love Natasha Denona. She's definitely one of my absolute favorite brands, especially in terms of eyeshadow. So whenever a new palette comes out, it is automatically mine, no questions asked. And this palette is limited edition. It retails for $129. Now there is a little bit of a controversy going around on the palette. In previous Natasha Denona palettes, there have been 15 different eyeshadows, which is the same amount of colors in the new Tropic palette, but there seems to be less products. For example, in the Lila palette, there's 15 different eyeshadows and there's 2.5 grams of eyeshadow in here, but in the new Tropic palette, there's 1.5 grams of product in here. I know a lot of people are already apprehensive to pay the price for a Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette because they are quite expensive, but most people feel like it's justifiable because there's so much eyeshadow. But now that she's switched it and she includes way less products and kept the same price, I know there's an uproar. A lot of people are very unhappy about that. I personally am not a person who goes through eyeshadow, so it's not something that's going to deter me from purchasing. However, I do see how that can be very frustrating. On Natasha Denona's Instagram, her explanation for this was that the eyeshadows have a different volume to them, so it's the same amount but it just weighs differently. I know a lot of times, not necessarily in Natasha's brand specifically, but baked eyeshadows, they do have a lot of products in them, but they are lighter, so they are going to weigh less. So I don't know if that is the same instance as what's happening in this palette. I personally am not going to dig my eyeshadows out to do that investigative work. I know that some people probably will. I'm not about that life, but I do want to make you guys aware that there is less eyeshadow in here and the price point is relatively the same. So let me read you guys the description on Sephora.com. It says that this is a new limited edition eyeshadow palette with 15 brand new tropical shades. This limited edition palette features 15 shades of Natasha's new long-lasting cream powder formula combined with her classic signature formula. With a range of matte and metallic finishes in a complementary tropical pop colors and pastels, you'll be inspired to create endless looks as far as your imagination leads you. From soft and natural to colorful, vibrant, and bold, the top and center rows are pastel and nude shades that can be applied on the eyelids and the crease, while the bottom row is full of colorful, tropical, and exotic shades for the upper and lower lash line. And it does say that these eyeshadows are formulated without parabens. Here's the actual packaging. It definitely reminds me of Saved by the Bell. Very Bayside high-ish. Anytime I see the colorway of blue and pink, it always reminds me of the 90s. But this is a different packaging than she normally does. This one is a hard plastic. If you guys own any of the other Natasha Denona big palettes, you'll remember that these were like a harder cardboard, but like it had a material over it, so it was a little bit different. This is the Lila palette, and then this is one of the 28 eyeshadow palettes. The packaging has changed. Opening up the palette, you'll see that it does have a really nice big mirror here, very clear mirror, and here are the eyeshadows. She also did two different things that I'm really loving her for. In this palette, the actual names of the eyeshadows are finally printed in here. If you guys know about Natasha Denona, she is notorious for having these slips. In true Natasha form, she still does have the names on the back of the palette as well as the finishes. And the second thing that I am loving that she did is in the back, there are holes, so you can poke like maybe a safety pin through and depot the eyeshadows with ease. This palette is so pretty. The way that it's organized is super inspiring to me. I love colors like this. It's very fresh and on trend for spring. You can do a range of looks with this eyeshadow palette going from day to night. I think the colors in here are a little bit lighter, so if you're a person who likes a smokier look or like super bold eyeshadows, there are the bottom colors, but the top colors, they're going to be really pretty and just dainty, especially on my complexion. Every color showed up on my complexion. I know that some people are worried about it not showing up on them. I think that with using an eyeshadow primer or an eyeshadow base, to make these colors pop, you'll be okay. I feel like the quality of these shadows are nice, but to me, the shimmers are not as intense or as smoothly pigmented as the other Natasha Denona eyeshadows. I feel like the matte eyeshadows performs really well. They blended out really nicely. Fake Tan and Cocoa, those are a little bit drier than the other creamy mattes in the palette. The other creamy mattes in the palette are on par with her other creamy mattes that she's featured in other palettes in the past. But the shimmery eyeshadows that I used did require me to use Fix Plus, which is something that I've really never had to do with Natasha Denona eyeshadows. I'm not going to say I don't like the palette. I do feel like the color layout is beautiful, but if we're comparing apples to apples, I do feel like her other palettes outperform this one. If we're comparing her palette to other eyeshadow formulas, I still feel like her eyeshadows are superior. So if you're a fan of this color layout, I would still say get it. I think that it's beautiful. However, if you're looking at, okay, I only want to get one Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette, I wouldn't necessarily tell you to start here, but it is a beautiful palette. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into swatches of this eyeshadow palette. That way you guys can see every color. Some colors I did have to layer. And then following that, I'm going to do an eye tutorial featuring this look. Everything else that I have on my face will be listed down in the description box. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe before you go. But stay tuned and enjoy. To do is make sure that my eyes are primed and prepped. I'm going to use a MAC paint pot. This one is in the color Laying Low. Next, let's jump into our palette. So I'm going to take the color Pastel Melon first with a MAC 217 natural hair brush, and I'm going to take this all across my lid. This is going to set my paint pot. So that applied really nicely. Now I'm going to jump into the color Nudist. With the same brush, I'm going to pop this color right above my crease using back and forth motions. This is going to be our transition color. So right underneath the color that we just applied, I'm going to take the color Vintage Taupe and apply that directly in the crease. Same brush, making sure I tap off the excess. I'm just going to concentrate this color right in the crease and blend it on the edge of where the other color stops by going back and forth and doing slight buffing motions. This eyeshadow is going to blend together. That looks really pretty so far. Very beautiful transition. Switching to a Chikuhodo GSN 10 brush, I'm going to dip into the color Sangria and apply that on my very outer corner and lightly blend it upwards towards the crease. This is a very pigmented color. Let's see how it applies. So just right on the very outer corner, I'm just going to apply this color sort of press it into the outer corner and then slightly blend it up, but I'm not going to take it all the way in the crease. Just enough to where it blends on the very outer corner. So don't take this color too far in. We're going to stop it about here. Beautiful. I love the color Sangria. I'm going to take a 242 brush by MAC in the color Gussie. Picking up this color on the flat side of the brush, I'm going to press this on my lid. I'm not going to take it into my inner corner, and I'm not going to take it too far above the crease. Right where Sangria ends, I'm going to tap that color just to make sure that it's blended. And I'm just going to continue to press this on the empty space that I left. And again, leave space here. On the lid, the shimmer is really lost in this color. You can see blue shimmers when I look at the eyeshadow, but applying it on the eye, I do feel like that's lost. So I'm going to go in with this color on the brush. I'm going to go in with a little bit of Fix Plus. See if I can get that. Yes. Applying this eyeshadow with Fix Plus will give it that foiled look, and you can see the blue shift to it a lot better. So I think that went on okay. It did take a little bit of work in order to see the glitter and make it opaque. So now I'm going to switch to a pencil brush. This is a Wayne Goss 05 brush. And I'm going to take the color Mint Frost and apply that on my inner corner. So I'm just going to pack it on and then blend it over. And I'm going to tap it right next to where Gussie ended just to blend that color. But I don't want to take this all the way on the lid. Same brush and just rim it around, so make sure it's connected to the top. That's really pretty. I didn't have to use any Fix Plus on it, and it really opened up and brightened up my eye look. So now I'm going to take Tiger Lily and apply that on the rest of the lower lash line, and I'm going to make sure that it connects to the top. I'm going to go in with the same brush. I'm going to build it slowly. I'm going to apply it little by little. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of Fix Plus on this color because I want it to show up as true as it looks in the pan. Let's see if we can build the opacity of it. Yes, you can. Now it's giving me that really beautiful royal navy blue look. So I've had to go over this a few different times to get the amount of opacity that you see here. But once you apply the Fix Plus, I do feel like the color does look a lot more vibrant. This is about what I want the eyeshadow to look like. Now I'm going to go in with liner and lashes, and I'll be back to show you guys the final look. So this is the finished look. I think that it looks really pretty. I like how everything came together. Let me know down in the comments section if you plan on picking up this palette. Let me know your thoughts, sound off on that. And also, if you have this palette or if you're inspired by the look that I created and you recreate it, make sure you use my hashtag on Instagram, #KelseeBrianaJ. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys in my very next video. Smooches. Bye.